James, welcome to our actually new room that we've just took over. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, yeah. Thanks a lot for asking me along. I really appreciate it.
No, delighted to have you. Just released your first ever book, the Neapolitan Scot, which is just to the left of me here. Do you want to just tell us a wee bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. It's been really exciting. So I've got a bit of background in media. I did a master's degree in journalism, and just in recent years when I've been reading some football books, I thought to myself, like, why couldn't that be me? I always try and be proactive in life, try new things, and yeah, the McTominay story kind of stood out to me when they won the league and the Serie A. I noticed it online on social media. Everybody's talking McTominay. He's the story. Like, he's now a rock star in Scotland. So I started looking at his backstory a bit more, and then it just built from there. And yeah, I'm really chuffed I managed to get it done. I'm proud of the achievement for sure.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it looks great as well. McTominay's really became just like a proper sort of cult hero. I think everyone now, you've still got to find somebody, even out with Scotland, out with Italy, everyone seems to just love him. Like, just his story's been amazing. He never really got much of a chance at Man U. He was always sort of coming on, and he seemed to be the one that was saving them all the time, the last minute goals. He's moved to Napoli and just transformed as a player.
Yeah, for sure, unbelievable. Because I remember when I first had the idea to do the book, one of my friends said it's like a Netflix story, and one of my promo bits when I released the book was I touched upon it being like a Netflix story. It's what you said there. He was kind of discarded at Man United in the end. He was always like a bit part figure, as you said, and even his look now, the glow up everyone talks about, and you guys do a lot of like culture and fashion and things like that. Like McTominay now, there's a reason why he's so popular in my opinion, because the look is part of it. He's like he's an icon in that sense. The reason why he's the guy on the billboards, and there's something about him that I think really like piques the interest of people for sure.
So you started planning this book. You just went in your spare time out with work.
Yeah.
Can you just give us a bit of an insight of how that starts and how you sort of take it all the way to obviously being published?
Yeah, absolutely. So people always dispute what uni is good for, and the preparation I had with uni was like I had to write a lot of essays. So the research process was like you have the subject, then you research the hell out of it, and you break it into parts. And I didn't know how to write a book. I was making up as I went along, like imposter syndrome kind of thing. So I decided to research McTominay online as much as I possibly could, and then the second part was trying to reach out for interviews. So maybe the most interesting people, I spoke to Alex McLeish, who was the Scotland manager, who gave McTominay his Scotland debut. I managed to speak to him. His youth coach at Man United, a guy called Paul McGuinness, who spoke about one thing that's interesting about the book is people might not be aware of in McTominay, that when he was 16 he was only 5'6" in height, and then by the age of 18 he was 6'3", which a lot of people might not realise. And like when he was like a young teenager, he was like a tricky attacking midfielder, and now everyone watches him, he's like a powerhouse. So yeah, I got to speak to so many cool people that I wouldn't have spoken to if it wasn't for this project. So yeah, so first of all it was researching online, and then it was trying to find people to chat to.
When you're writing this, I suppose, do you feel like, yeah, this is good, this needs to be published and this will be published? Do you have that sort of confidence, or are you just sort of going along and just hoping?
Well, the thing is, it's actually self-published, so that was the thing, and that's what something that I never knew about before, and that's what I would say to anybody that listens to this or watches this, that people always think there's like blockages in life, and there's always different ways around it, because I wanted to try and get this out before the World Cup, because I knew the hype, that's the time, and I wanted to capitalise on the hype before the World Cup. So I looked into it via Amazon. You can do self-publication, and it actually benefits like starting like young authors as well, because you'll get more of a cut as opposed to via a publisher. So yeah, it's via Amazon, they do self-publishing. So once I discovered that, I looked into it, I was like, yeah, that's something that I can do. There's no blockage there, and I'd advise anybody, because my goal now, maybe we'll get onto it, but is to maybe do different types of books. So yeah, it is a self-published book.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to that.
Yeah.
What is your plans for the future? What's next? Have you got other ideas, or have you got something in your mind that you want to start? You maybe don't want to say it right now, but yeah, what's the plans?
Yeah. So the reason why I think this book kind of works is that the amount of friends that have chatted to me and they've said, James, I've not read a book in like 10 years or whatever, but I feel like it's not the bulkiest of the book. It's quite accessible. It's about somebody's life. I think biographies are quite accessible. Even if people don't read, they've found it quite interesting because you're just learning about somebody's life. So I feel like in Scotland, you say that McTominay is loved in Scotland. Like there's a who's who of the most popular people in Scotland are in the Scotland team at the moment. So yeah, I'm debating with my friends and family who the most popular book would be based on. I've got a few ideas. Maybe John McGinn is the front runner, but also Andy Robertson. So yeah, it's a super popular team, and I feel like there's a lot of stories to be unearthed for sure.
Obviously the book so successful already. You know, genuinely, it was Lee sent it off onto me, and then there's so many folk talking about it, and it has brought up other opportunities as well. You've done a couple of nights where you've sort of spoke about Scotland at the World Cup. Do you want to just tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, that's right. It's like a start-up initiative called Moving Minds, which I didn't know about, but in Edinburgh and Glasgow they do kind of pub open nights for experts and storytellers about different subjects. There was one last week in Glasgow about royal protecting royals from assassination attempts, like really like niche subjects, but the founder Stephen wanted somebody to talk about the World Cup from a fan's perspective, and he got in contact with me. Probably he might have seen something about the book, and it was just an opportunity for me to express my passion for Scottish football in a way that people who maybe don't have as good a knowledge about Scottish football can come and learn something about it and why the World Cup's been so important for everybody in the country. So the opportunity to, you know, speak in front of a lot of different people is an opportunity I never thought I would maybe have. And yeah, I'd recommend anybody to look into Moving Minds on Instagram. They do talks a lot in Edinburgh. I did mine at Three Sisters and also in Glasgow.
And would you think, is that something you'd be open to doing more of, sort of these talks at pubs or events? Is that something you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I did enjoy it, to be fair. My family have said, I should maybe look into something at the Fringe, because I'm not a comedian by any stretch, but story nights, like talks, especially football, where you can discuss like anecdotes, funny stories, places you've been, players you admire. If I could build another, because basically my concept for this was like a build up to the World Cup, the origins of the Tartan Army, and then I spoke to a fan from Morocco, Haiti and Brazil, so I kind of built up the night. So if it's possible at the Fringe, that'd be a cool thing to do. So maybe, let's see.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that I mean, if there's one place that is going to be possible, I think it is the Fringe.
Yeah.
There's all sorts there, and I think it would really fit in.
Yeah, let's see, maybe.
Hopefully. Right, let's talk about the World Cup. Scotland, we got the 3 points against Haiti, which is the main thing. Get the result was the main thing. Maybe not the prettiest of performances, but do you think for the first game, do you know there's always going to be a bit of nerves? We got the win. That's the main thing, isn't it? Yeah,
for sure. Especially because Scotland, we've had a lot of horror shows in the past. I was speaking to my dad, and we've lost to teams we should be beating. Like we drew with Iran. We've had a few matches where we've disappointed ourselves. And when you look at some other results, like Cape Verde drawn with Spain, we could have ended up drawing or losing that match. So the fact that we go into our next match is still in with a shot of qualifying, because that was the game we had to win. I think everybody would have liked to see more goals, but I think, you know, the momentum and excitement in the country, had we not won that match, would have been a lot different to what it still is now.
And you're heading over there away tomorrow, so Dublin tomorrow.
That's right,
Drop off there and you're going to watch the game over there.
That's right.
What do you think for that? Confident?
I wouldn't say confident, but I just have a feeling that we're gonna get a point we need from either Morocco or Brazil. I think there's something about the camp. Everybody seems positive. Yeah. I think sometimes Scotland do better against teams that are tougher and there's less expectations on us. Sometimes. I remember that Germany game we got battered. But I just think something about this group, we're due a big result in a major tournament, and I think we'll get one in these 2 games.
I think Morocco will be the toughest game. For some reason, I do think that's going to be our toughest game by far. But for me, there's something that tells me that we'll get something against Brazil.
Yeah, let's hope so. Iconic game, Miami, Scotland, Brazil. So.
Yeah, and then, so you're over Miami, how long are you over there for?
Just a week in Miami, but I can't wait. Should be amazing.
That'll be good. And then, look, hopefully we get through and then see where we can go.
Yeah, fingers crossed. There's some bigger nights ahead for Scotland. That's what we all want.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this is a team, if there was ever going to be a team to do it and sort of take us as far as we can maybe go, then this is definitely a team.
Definitely. Let's hope so.
James, thanks very much for chatting.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Good man. My new book, The Neapolitan Scot, available via Amazon now.